Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Horror Film Lovers Mainstream Monday. Oh my God, this is like the second time this has happened where I just completely go off the rail on that. Horror Film Lovers Mainstream Monday. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I'm here with
Ward John. Oh my God, I just did it too. Oh,
uh,
John Ward. That's wow. But I'm
Mhm.
dyslexic, so I have a
Ward.
reason for doing it.
Well, wouldn't dyslexic mean that you would be like Ujan,
Yeah.
Ord, someone.
Ord. No, being dyslexic isn't that you see words backwards. It's just you see them differently. So
Right.
yeah,
So it's
so
not
that's
backwards, but it's like you would be like all confused with how you
yeah,
said the
like
name.
if I'm going down Route 66, I actually think I'm going down Route 99.
That's upside down, dude.
It's
Uh,
I mean, when I'm with a girl and I want to do 69, I'm actually doing 96. It's so bizarre. It's really weird.
that would,
So,
that's actually a good like that would be a good comedy bit, you know.
yeah,
You should save
just
that for when you do your stand-up career.
yeah, like all these comedians go out there. So being black, so being Asian, so being, I could go, well, so being
Dyslexic.
dyslexic. See, I can't even think of my own issue.
Because it was dyslexically spelled in your head.
Because
You're like,
it was backwards in my head. So it is actually a really messed up thing to have. So
It is. We're not making fun of anybody who has it. Please understand.
I
I don't
can
know.
because I
Sometimes I
have it.
wonder if I don't know. There's sometimes I read things wrong. But I don't know if that's just bad eyesight or if that's, something more. I've never looked into it to be diagnosed for anything.
Well, I used to think I was just stupid, and my teachers put me in like special ed classes, and then I realized and got diagnosed with it. Because it's like I could spell a word and all the letters are there, except they're all mixed up.
Hmm.
So it's like I know the word, I know how to spell it, but the way that I'm writing it down is not correct. And I've always been terrified of that, like, you know, working in the film industry and you're just this lonely guy and
Hmm.
they're like, okay, go up to the chalkboard and write down everything we're telling you, and you're like, fuck, because then everything comes out wrong. So then you look like a moron, but you really do know what you're doing.
All right. Well, moving on.
Here we
Um,
go. Stay on
So we're
target.
gonna start talking about Curse of Chucky, which
Yes.
is the 2013 film, written and directed by Don Mancini, the original writer and creator of Child's Play and Chucky and whatnot. Basically, this was like a revamp of the
Yeah.
original because I guess in 2000, almost 10 years. I'm kind of sad that they didn't wait. Maybe it was a rights thing. They had to get it done before 10 years was up. Um, but was it,
Yeah. Well,
what,
Seed was 2004.
yeah, and this was
And
2013. So this was
yeah.
9 years later, not 10, almost 10. Could have been 10. So would have been interesting if it had been 10 years later, 10-year anniversary of Seed of Chucky, we put out Curse of Chucky, which honestly it was okay. I mean, it felt like, we're going back to the well, we're making Chucky scarier again.
But that was
Um
the idea. Yeah.
I think there were a couple moments that made me jump, you know, and stuff. Um my biggest problem with any of the Chucky things, once again, is just I can't necessarily when he's like going or like he's running across the thing, scurrying across the room, he looks so silly. And I'm like, oh, you coming to see? It's like that scene in Elf where, Peter Dinklage. Have you ever seen Elf, the Will Ferrell
Yeah.
movie?
I barely remember it though.
Peter Dinklage, is calling or whatever. Will Ferrell is calling Peter Dinklage an elf. He's like, "Would you stop calling me an elf?" He's like, "Don't call him. If you call me elf one more time," he was like, "He's an angry elf," and he jumps up on the table and starts running at him. And as he's running, Will Ferrell pulls his arms out. I was like, hey, and then he like just like kicks him in the face. And it is one of the funniest things, but it reminds me of like that's what I want to do with Chucky. He's running at me. Oh, look at him.
Well, I think sometimes it's the the doll, the animatronic doll, and then sometimes it's a little kid. So I think we see Chucky walk down the stairs after he pushes our what's her name? What did she end up? What's her name in this? Brad Dourif. Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong movie. I'm blanking on Fiora. Oh, Nika.
Mika.
After
Yeah.
after Chucky pushes Nika over the edge and she falls, um, you see him walk down the stairs. It's like an over the head shot. I
Hmm.
think that's a little kid and just walking down the stairs.
Yeah, it kind of looks like
So
that. Yeah.
what I like is, and I'll mention this now because I think that this is uh, um, interesting to because this doesn't say how much the movie made because that straight to video type of thing, but its budget was only 5 million compared to the 12 million that Seed of Chucky was. So they had a very tight budget. I mean, that's like Blumhouse budget, like early Blumhouse budgets. And so I get that's why we have the house. That's why when the priest dies, we don't see the accident. We see the aftermath of the accident because they can't afford it. It's so cheap, How do you why wouldn't our main person who's in a wheelchair just leave the house? Well, she's in a wheelchair. And what I did like about this is Chucky didn't really he did, but he didn't really cause the deaths. Like it's not like the leverage thing. Like he jumped up on somebody and it's like, I'm attacking you when you should just be able to throw him off. Instead, it's all push the wheelchair over a ledge or all electrocute somebody. So
Right.
I think these maybe they were thinking of that okay, well, a doll wouldn't be able to do this stuff, so let's get it to where somebody falls and he could take a knife and stab her eye, which a doll could do. You
I
see what I'm
mean,
saying?
I'm sad that we didn't get to see the accident because they very much confused me. Like,
I I think okay, because I this is now my third time watching it, and I was wondering because when the accident is done,
hmm
and it's the priest to let people know who we're talking about, the priest that comes in, um, you Chucky, the Nika, and the little girl that's
Alice,
Alice, who is the daughter of
Barbara,
Nika's sister,
Barbara.
Barbara. And they're making dinner. So they're doing chili and they got cheese on it. And when they leave the room, Chucky puts rat poison in one of them. And we're looking at the table and it takes a while. It's very kind of Hitchcockian as the camera kind of goes around and we're just waiting
Oh, the
and
whole movie
waiting
is very
and waiting.
Hitchcockian.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's also kind of like the woman in the cage and yeah, they knew exactly what they were doing with this. And then the
Also,
pre
Puppet Master, because like if you watch the original Puppet Master, all takes place at a house in one location, and it involves puppets instead of a doll or whatever. But like it just feels like that, like everybody's kind of there, and then and or being murdered or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, if you could lock somebody in a house, and then of course if you put them in a wheelchair or they're, a paraplegic or something, where they have to use the crutches,
Hmm
you want to try to get them to stay in. But it's the priest starts to sweat because the priest is like, I recognize this doll from somewhere. And the dad is like, um, well, it was a popular toy back in the 80s. I knew somebody who had one.
Yeah, I
But the
think
priest,
his brother
I
had one or
think,
something.
knows. I think he remembers the headlines. And so he's kind of like, oh shit. And then when he starts sweating, I wasn't sure if that was the rat poison or maybe he was sweating because he knew who Chucky
And it had to be the
was.
rat poison because we saw that he sat down with the rat poison. That's what I saw. Where you saw where there was like a very big close up of the one that had it, right? The plate that had
Right,
it or
in the
whatever
kitchen.
in the
Yeah.
kitchen, and then when if they sit it down, you could tell which one had more of the stuff, which is where the had the rat
See, I
poison.
might have not noticed that because then there would be no point in doing the whole
Well, no, because it was
suspense
like
thing.
letting them go down each. You didn't know which person was going to sit there. That's what I got from that. Like you didn't know which one person was going to sit at the one, and so you're waiting for the last person to sit there, and the last person was the father.
Well, okay. So the father doesn't feel well. He's sweating. He leaves. Chucky
Right.
watches him. But after the accident, which I thought was a great looking accident, they really did a good job on that accident, especially this considering the camera was just kind of following the two cops and the head coming off the
Hmm.
priest. But I figured, okay, so maybe he died of the rat poison, and that's what caused the accident. But then after that, the little girl, Alice, says, "Where's Chucky? I can't find Chucky." So then I thought, okay, maybe Chucky caused the accident, but the priest left in the car and Chucky was still sitting at the table.
So, I think because it doesn't make any sense. He can't drive or get anywhere, and everything.
Teleporting Chucky.
Yeah, so what I think happened was, yes, I think you're right. I think he did cause an accident from the rat poison, right? Um, but here's the thing. So remember that the father of the little girl was putting in the thing into Chucky, the
Oh, the nanny cam.
the nanny cam. And you don't know exactly when that was. So what I think what happened is when she couldn't find Chucky, it was because the father had moved it, or had put the nanny cam in, and and so he caught a couple of the things, like he caught them making out at one point or whatever. Not sure if that was before or after. Let's see if Wikipedia puts something on there about
That's
it.
actually what I'm looking up right now. Uh, uh, okay, I don't. No, in fact, it doesn't
It,
even look like they
yeah, they
say
don't
that the
really do a
priest
very
dies at
good.
all.
So it says like a mysterious package arrives at the home of Sarah Pierce and her oh, we forgot to even mention that because that's the beginning.
Well, I said she's in a wheelchair.
Right, but paraplegic daughter Nika. Inside they find a good guy's doll. Confused, Sarah throws the doll away. That night Nika finds Sarah stabbed to death. The death is ruled as a homicide or a suicide. A homicide. Suicide. Nika is visited by her older sister Barb, her husband Ian, daughter Alice, live-in nanny Jill, with whom Barb is secretly having an affair, and priest Father Frank.
Spoilers.
Well, I mean, there's gonna be lots of spoilers coming up.
Well, no, I think this, when they're writing it, they should probably move that further down. Don't put it right
Well,
there.
because this is actually very compressed. It's not as drawn out and not as enough information. But Alice discovers Chucky and bonds with him that night. Doesn't even discuss where she found him in the bathroom when Nika was looking around because she had him on a chair, and then he moved. He went to the bathroom. I don't know.
Well, and the mom threw it away. She went to the trash can and threw Chucky away. So we got out of the trash can and ended up on the chair.
Does Chucky need to take a leak? Is that why he's
If
in the bathroom?
if he's anatomically correct and he has sperm, I would think that he would be
Or to
able to
have
go to the
urine?
bathroom. Yeah.
We never see that. Like Don Mancini, show us Chucky having
Yeah.
to take a whiz every now and then, you know?
Yeah, we haven't seen him, like have to pull off to the side of the road and just take a leak. So
He can't
I
take
do have to bring up, since we brought up the mom and the sister, this is mean. I'm sorry. Did Don Mancini purposely hire ugly older women? because the mom is awful looking. She is not attractive at all. And then Barb, maybe they hired this actress because the actress is really stuck up, egotistical, wants to be like a rich lifestyle, which she doesn't have. And she, uh won't do, like she would never eat fast food because it's below her. But it looks like she's got a ton of makeup on. Her lips look like she has a ton of collagen in there. And I'm like, did they make her up to look like this kind of like Housewives of Beverly Hills type of person?
It's
Because
not.
the nanny is hot.
She's pretty hot.
So yeah, and then of course, um, you know,
Fiona
Brad
Dorff.
Dorff, yeah,
Yeah,
Fiona Dorff, I think is really cute in some weird way.
she's so
I
gorgeous. I don't know. I've like the first time I saw her, I was like, oh my God. And then it's so funny because she's like a year older than me. Like she was born in 81. Which um I think I don't know what year they said that because it's supposed to be 88, I guess, and later because 87, 88 because 88 was when wasn't that when Child's Play came, like the first Child's Play came out in 88 or something, so she was
what year this is supposed to be taking place
like no
in?
no the original, so the original Child's Play movie I think takes place in 1988.
Oh,
This
that sounds right.
connects to that, right? Because spoiler alert for later, the when he's doing that flashback, he goes from that one place, the one house, the one area he's at, over to the toy place. That's the like this is a prequel, or not prequel, but part prequel because
The
the flashback
flashbacks,
is a prequel to
yeah,
the
because
original movie.
I'm guessing Don Mancini probably went, okay, where was he running from
Right.
before he, and that's Charles Lee
And I
Ray,
kind of like that.
who
I actually did dig that. I thought that was kind of cool.
I
Um,
think if you were to, like, if somebody just did a giant timeline and just put all the movies back to back and took the flashbacks and, which would include the TV series because there's like flashback galore.
yeah.
I don't think it would match.
Yeah.
It's funny that would happen, but I don't think if you were to take that little flashback scene and put it at the beginning of Child's Play, it would work.
You need a continuity person throughout the whole series, like somebody making sure all of these like things make sense. That's sort of what MCU does, like the Marvel tries to do now, is just well, I mean, I think they've been trying to do it for years, but trying to make everything make sense. But the problem is sometimes you put something in and you think that's cool, then you put something in, and then later you come up with a great idea like the Eternals, and that makes no sense, you know? That makes no
Yeah.
sense because, like, if they existed for that long, you know, wouldn't people have, noticed that these gods have been doing this stuff and everything like that? And they would have helped. They would have came in and helped if they were superheroes.
I don't think anybody remembers it because they fell asleep because it was 3 hours long.
Yeah, that was
But
it.
I think with something like Chucky, I would imagine that they probably never expected this to be a series and they never expected it to make money. And then when they were, riding high and then they went low, it's like, oh shit, let's stop for a little bit. And then they'd start up again and they'd go high and then low, be like, oh crap, let's stop a little bit.
Mm,
So I don't think so I get what he's doing with these flashbacks. And you do get a lot of Charles Lee Ray and Tiffany flashbacks in the series. I think it's
oh,
maybe
in the
just
series.
yeah,
Yeah,
in the series.
good. I
I
liked.
think it's just the first series, the first
I
season.
I did like the Charles Lee Ray stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a little creepy. I don't know if you had some guy who looks like Charles Manson standing there, and it's just like, Charles, come over, meet my kids, and then he's down there like kind of like tickling the cheek or something like
like,
that of Barb, and
did he drown the dad? Because like the dad, they said, "How did your dad die?" Like, and it was like drowning, or something.
yeah, like right like 2 weeks before. she was born.
So I think, and
So,
then they're at the funeral, right? And he's giving that like really creepy look to her and everything,
yeah.
like which
And then he kidnaps her.
yeah, and then he kidnaps her or whatever. Like I don't
And
know.
she's still pregnant, right?
She's still pregnant, yeah.
Yeah. So that I don't know if that works with, and of course, this is before the TV series, that continuity wise, that would work because Charles Lee Ray and Tiffany are played by two different people because they're younger. They don't
Right.
do the de-aging, thank God. And they're pretty much together. They're like natural born killers type of thing. It's they're inseparable. So I don't know
Um,
if technically this, but there are times when Charles Lee Ray is gone and Tiffany tries to find him. So maybe during this, but yeah, I think he became obsessed with the perfect family. He kills the dad, kidnaps the wife, stabs the wife because that's why Nika's now in a wheelchair.
mm-hmm.
And he runs from the cops during the day
Yeah, that was
and
night.
then was it at night?
Yeah, it was
And
at night.
then ends up at the toy store
Right.
for from part one. So
Well,
I don't
actually, that is weird. Nope, that's weird. You're right. Because it's supposed to be day, because isn't he supposed to go pick up Barb from school?
yeah, she goes, yeah, you need to go pick up
No,
yeah,
no,
you
he
need
says I need to go pick her up. And then she's like, no, 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 don't do that.
yeah,
Because,
stay with me. Yes.
like, she's
So
afraid.
that'd be during the day. And school's like especially maybe at that age, like one.
No, that was very badly. Let me see if that's there's a lot of goofs and stuff, I
Well,
think.
and wasn't it also that the reason why Charles E. Ray ended up in the toy store was because his partner that he kills as Chucky betrayed him.
Right.
And
I
that's never brought up in this.
um yeah, I need to find um I need to find there's got to be okay, let's
And of course,
see.
they just wouldn't let anybody. I mean, I don't know, but at this time period that it's supposed to take place in, maybe anybody could just roll up to school and just grab a kid and go, "Oh yeah, I'm their uncle," and then leave. But today, I mean, you got to be on a list and show ID, and that's not going to happen.
There's a few Google for a few like goofs, but it doesn't say any of those things.
Because it's 25 years. Because Chucky even says that, like, "Oh yeah, no, I killed you 25 years ago." It's just like the longest death in history or something.
Yeah, because he's been waiting for 25 years to kill her. Um, first time Chucky tries to possess a female. I didn't
Yeah,
think
that's
about that.
true.
That's true.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Yeah,
even.
I guess he could possess anybody. So yeah, it was Andy really through one and two, the little black kid in three, and then it's I think adults after that for like Bride and Seed. And now it's like yeah, like the little girl.
Um, yeah, it doesn't. None of these say that. This seems kind of.
I mean, unless he leaves the house in the during the day, the cops show up. Because they I think they do cut to the cops outside and it's day. And he runs out. Like he runs out the back, they come in through like a different door.
I
And
thought it was
unless
night,
I
and
guess maybe he's just on the run, he's been running, and then that would be where Chris Sarandon tracks him down and is chases him into night into the toy store. But then you would think that would kind of be brought up in Child's Play of him saying, well, I need to kill 10 people. And then one of them would be like the mom because she, you know, ratted him out or something or called the cops. Somebody called the cops.
Hold on. I'm saying to Chat GPT. I'm gonna talk to my buddy here.
You love Chad.
I do. Okay. This is what it says. Exactly. You caught one of the biggest continuity issues in Curse of Chucky. In the original Child's Play, the flashback to Charles Lee Ray's death clearly takes place during the day, right before he's cornered in the toy store.
No, it
No,
takes
that's
place at
not
night.
true. That's not true.
Did
That's
chat
the
mess
exact
up?
opposite. What I'm trying to say. See, sometimes they get things mixed up or something because they never watched the movie. They've just heard people like they've just
Well,
read.
it's like yeah, it's what's said on the internet. Yeah, because
Yeah.
you got the toy store. The big cloud comes over it. That's all at night. The lightning and all that type of stuff. The wind is all happening, and yeah, Chris Sarandon runs outside and all that type of stuff. No, it's definitely at night. And Curse is a day. The flashback is during the day.
Hmm. Let me see. Let me just Google this because sometimes somebody will say something in a Reddit.
I wonder maybe if the maybe in.
I think
So I don't want to leave us not talking at
I
all
know,
because
but it
that's
says
just
the flashbacks and Curse of Chucky make sense to fans by recontextualizing and connecting Charles Lee Ray's origin to Nika Pierce's family and establishing a direct link between the events of Child's Play and Curse of Chucky. The flashbacks show that Charles Lee Ray targeted the Pierce family, Nika's grandmother, for revenge, and also reveals that Tiffany called the police on Ray, leading to the botched robbery that caused his soul to transfer into the Chucky doll. What? Wait, when did Tiffany do? Called the police on Ray? No, Tiffany had nothing to do with it. Why are all these AI things like getting everything so fucking.
unless they're referring to something in the TV series because she does get pissed off at him a few times.
It does say that the Chucky season finale fixes this Curse of Chucky plot hole. So there's something there. I just can't read it yet. You know? Um,
Well, it does say here on IMDb under trivia, the knife Charles Lee Ray uses during the flashback sequence is the same knife that Chucky uses throughout the first Child's Play
I
movie.
saw that too, yeah. I thought that was pretty
Um,
cool. What a nice little throwback. I don't know. I'm just it just does not talk about um and then you get okay. No. The police officer and Tiffany thing, like that was a nice the her killing the cop was a nice tribute to like Bride of Chucky, or whatever. I think it was Bride of Chucky where she kills or somebody kills. No, I think it was Chucky kills the guy that's something whatever. Anyway,
well, Tiffany kills the cop, slits his throat.
but was that in Bride of Chucky too? Because I remember there was a cop that got killed, right?
Well, in Bride, John Ritter gets killed, and
No,
he's
no,
like,
I'm talking
"Well, the
about the
sheriff."
guy who was like, I guess bringing the doll to Tiffany or something, like from the evidence locker.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. He is killed.
But
Yeah.
who
Oh yeah,
killed
yeah, yeah.
him?
She kills him.
She killed him. That's what I thought.
Yeah,
So,
because I think he wants like more money or something like that.
yeah.
And so I mean, she's obviously going to most likely kill him
But
anyways.
so
But
she did twice. She brought that back for for this one because she kills the cop. At the that's waiting for Chucky or whatever. That's also stealing from the evidence thing. It seems like that seems to be a thing because like remember the Nika called and there was the evidence, you know,
yeah, yeah, the woman says that
disposit.
it's yeah from
Yeah.
the yeah. So apparently, there's a lot of cops who like to steal Chucky stuff and try to make money, but they never they never get that far.
They end up not getting the money and getting killed. So if somebody asks you to steal a Chucky doll, say no.
Don't do it, man.
Don't do
Don't
it.
do it.
This is a
I
warning to everybody out there. Do not do it.
I am so tempted, unless they're sold out, but I can't imagine they would be, that Halloween Spirits, is that what it's called? Is that the store?
Spirit Halloween.
Spirit Halloween. They have a Chucky doll, the full size one. It's like
Nice.
$80.
Actually, that's not a bad price for it, to be honest.
No,
Some of those
but
go for like $300.
well, I looked, Joe bought two of them. Joe Lujan bought two, and I looked at him when I was at his house. I told him, I said, this is not the original. This is so the original, if you go to like Zia Records or something like that, or Amoeba Records in LA, yeah, it's gonna be like $300, $500 because it's when the original movies came out.
Hmm.
This I think is just a like a reproduction.
I forgot about
So
Amoeba Records. Oh man, I hope I can talk my dad into letting me go there.
there's also Funko Pop. I know that you're not really a Funko Pop guy, but right
I
across the
mean, I like
street from
some
Amoeba
Funkos. I like
is
some
Funko.
Funkos.
It's a great place to visit because it's more than just Funko Pops. They have like displays and characters, and
Oh,
you could spend a good couple hours there. I
well,
did
that's
with
where.
OGP.
Oh my God, you have no idea. I told you that we were looking at the Terminator 2 like location stuff or whatever. My dad wants to go to literally every Terminator 2 location like that we can go to, and I was like, oh my God, dude, I cannot. No, that's like a whole day of Terminator 2. I'm gonna go crazy, because I'm gonna be like, who? He was like, this alley. We could go to this alley. I'm like, I don't want to go to an alley. You know, like,
Maybe
like,
there's like a little plaque that says Terminator 2 was shot here or something. So
yeah, it's funny. It's just like whatever. But he doesn't want to do any of the horror because he doesn't want horror films. So he doesn't want to do any of the horror film locations. But I do think he would be okay with going to Amoeba Records because that is an actual like that's like going to the Capitol Records stuff.
yeah, it's
Things like
pretty
that.
famous.
Yeah.
There's always celebrities there and stuff. I know at some point I'm going to go out and visit OGP for a couple days, and he goes, "Oh, we could go visit some movie spots." And I told him, I said, "The number one place I want to go is the church that was in John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness." I said
Right.
that is number one, but it's got like a fence around it. It's been remodeled and everything, so
Hmm.
it's not exactly the same place, but it doesn't have that look. But I want to do it, so it.
Man, I wish you could come out to LA, man, just to hang out for a second and or whatever while we're there. But if I'm guessing you're gonna be working most of the time and everything.
Yeah,
Maybe on a
yeah.
Sunday if you can just come out for 3 hours, or whatever. You know.
I got if I go out, I got to make it like a couple days, and it's gas time.
Yeah,
It's I a lot of
money.
the stuff that I took off, like if I come out and visit, stay on target. But if I come out and visit you guys next October, it's because I'm planning for it right
Right.
now, so I can put that PTO in for next year. And I could say, I can't work these days. I asked you guys this a year ago, and I
Right.
can save up some money and all that stuff. So it's hard for me, which is why OGP always comes out and visits me. Plus, we have Zia Records and stuff.
Do
It
we have the
is
dates figured out for that yet?
no week. I mean, well, because you had said that you have your Halloween parties, so one of those days would be Halloween.
Well, not on Halloween. We don't do the Halloween party on Halloween.
Well, whenever your party is, we'll figure it
We'll
out. So
figure it out.
we're way off topic. So.
Well, I mean,
So
what else is new? All right.
I know. Well, so what did because you got a picture of him. What do you think of that look for Chucky?
So when I first saw it, I was like, okay, he looks, brand new. Like he looks like
That's what I thought.
and I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Like they're trying. It feels like they're trying to reboot him, right, in a way and everything. And like, oh, hey, here's a good guy doll. And this is Chucky, because they don't ever explain how it goes from seed to here, right? There's no like side story unless it's in the TV show or something, but like,
Well, you would think, I mean, because he's cut in pieces and seed. So
right.
arms, legs, head. So I'm guessing the same thing that he's put into a bag and put into a box in the evidence locker.
And then he kind of just puts himself back together.
And then somebody, well, the thing with the series is there's like 1,000 Chuckies. So when you think Chucky's dead, somebody owns another Chucky doll. and you'll see this type of thing happen in Cult.
Hmm.
So this could be a completely different doll that Charles Lee Ray went into.
Right.
But
Could
it
be.
isn't because he's got
But he's got the scars.
the scars. I was so happy. I'm like, I don't know. I like, why is he looking like this? Why doesn't he have the stitching and everything? Why is no, that's how Chucky now looks. And then all of a sudden when Barb starts peeling it off, and I'm like, oh yes, there he is. I felt like some geek, yeah,
Was
yeah.
that now or was that like the first time you
The
saw it?
first time I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. The very first, and it still put a smile on my face when I saw it here because I like this Chucky. He does look different though. I think he's supposed to maybe look more like the Child's Play, the original Child's Play Chucky,
Mm.
but because he's definitely meaner looking.
He
Um,
almost looks like I don't know if it's this lighting or something, but he almost looks like he's got some gray hairs, like right here, like like up there. I don't know. Maybe it's the lighting on my
I
end.
think it's probably the lighting because he's
It
yeah,
would
because I
be
think he
funny
just
if he
look
had gray hair, like he's just getting old.
well, he does get old in the series. He does, yeah, he
Yeah,
does.
that's
So
funny.
there's a whole thing with that. But I'm looking forward to rewatching the series because I think I've seen seasons 1 and 2 twice, and then I've only seen season 3 once because I figured that we'd probably do all these. But
I'll
I loved
probably
it.
be watching them while I'm on vacation too, or whatever, because they're pretty easy to just put on and watch or whatever. So I'll just
They're
hopefully,
short
yeah, hopefully I'll have
because
my own room and I can just sit there and watch it at night, before I go to bed.
yeah, I think because they
So
were on Sci-Fi Channel, they were 30 minutes, and that includes commercials. So if you watch them without the commercials, it's like 23 minutes, 25 minutes, something like that.
if
So they're pretty short.
yeah, because we got this next week we're gonna watch and review the Colt, and then the week after that is the uh
Life with,
Child's Play remake, right? Or do you
are
want
we
to do
doing the
the
remake? I think we should do the documentary
That's
and
not
then go into the remake and then do
okay.
the TV series.
Okay, that's fine with me because um but I wanted to see if like I think the 27th is like the last Thursday in October, you know? And maybe we can watch as many of them as we can this week or this month so that we can get them or and review them so we can already have them done, you know, and everything because
Sure.
that would be key right now because with everything that's going on there in LA, I just would rather get everything done that we can get done, you know. But I mean, we've been plowing through this, I've been pretty happy with this. I think it took us like there was a time where we didn't do Child's Play 3 for a little bit because, we had to get OGP and he was just very busy, so a couple months
Yeah.
or something before we got to get back on the groove. But we got back on the groove, and now OGP does not want anything to do with the rest of these things. So,
I talked to him today because I told him that I was doing a video with you tonight, and he goes, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I said, "We're doing Curse of Chucky," and I said, "This is the one that you might actually like because it is a straightforward horror movie. It doesn't have the one-liners. It doesn't have the that where Chucky would tackle somebody and they can't throw him off. Instead, it's him killing people, but more in like an electrocution type of way. And
yeah.
he just said it was too busy and he couldn't watch it. So
Plus, I don't think he just doesn't seem to like Chucky,
he
period.
hates
Like,
Chucky. Yeah, he really
yeah,
does.
yeah.
Which is funny that I love Chucky. So it's just
I
it's
mean,
having the
everybody can
two.
have their own things. I mean,
Oh
I
yeah.
like Jason. Some people don't even like Jason. I don't know why, but some people
Well,
don't.
and I can criticize Chucky because I have the leverage issue with anything like this. It could be Puppet Master, it could be anything like just an arm. Like if you're watching a horror movie, where it's just an arm that's roaming around and it's strangling people. No, it can't grab anything. It has no force. You just if it does get on you, you just take it and throw it away. There's no leverage. There's nothing. So that's why at the end of Seed, it was a little cheesy when the arm jumps out of the box, and you're supposed to think, I guess, that it grabbed the kid. But Glenn, no, that's fine. It could jump out of the box, but all Glenn has to do is just hit it out of the way. So,
Yeah.
and I think this kind of solves that. So I'm really curious to see what you think of Colt because
I
that
never thought about that though. Like you actually need the rest of your arm to be able to get like you know what I mean? Like see, my arm is connected to this area, right? And all of this is needed. If I just took this off, it wouldn't have, yeah, it wouldn't have the force and it wouldn't have the, the stuff. Like
no,
it wouldn't be able to do everything.
even
That's
like the hand in the Addams family, thing. There's no leverage there. It does Thing can't do Thing can I mean except that it's the Addams family so we can ring a bell. That's
yeah.
fine. But it wouldn't be able to like if it jumped up at a doorknob, it shouldn't be able to turn the doorknob. So it's
Yeah,
I
somebody would
never
have to literally turn it.
yeah, and I didn't think about that stuff. Even with enjoying the Puppet Master movies, I think I saw a review. This was years ago, where I saw a review for the Puppet Master films, and the person just went, "Why don't they just knock the puppet off? Like it's a puppet, just knock it off." I'm like, "Yeah, that makes sense."
Well, no, I
So
mean,
it's
I've
like,
always thought once you just punt, Chucky, I mean, or Annabelle, with Annabelle at least, like Annabelle just kind of disappears and reappears, whenever
yeah, sits in a
supernaturally it
chair and
feels
then sits in
like,
that chair, and yeah, it
right.
does.
It does the same thing Jason does. Like Jason will be chasing you. You look back, Jason's gone. All of a sudden he's in front of you. How did that happen? Doesn't matter. He's supernatural. He can do whatever he
They
wants.
kind of explain that in the remake of Friday the 13th. He has underground tunnels. So if you see him here and you run in the opposite direction, he just pops into one of the tunnels, runs, and then pops up in front of you.
I'd
Because
love
it's
to
a
see him run under the tunnel, though. I don't think they ever show that. Like
no,
he's,
they're just using the tunnels and stuff like that. But it's yeah, so I think like one of the first Puppet Master has like a leech woman and
hmm
and she's putting the leech into the person's mouth. And I'm like, why get and I think it's because is it Tumbler, the guy with the little head that's really strong,
I think
that
so.
yeah, he's holding down one arm, and then one of the puppets I think is holding down the other arm, and it's like, no, just throw them. It doesn't. I'm sorry, it's a puppet. It doesn't have, and Chucky doesn't have any massive strength. He might have a little bit of weight because he is kind of human, so he would have that weight, but I don't, which is why I think they did the murders in this like they did. So it is, that so it made more sense for a doll to be able to do it.
Like when she's doing when he's like attacking Nico with the car, with turning on the car and the exhaust and all that stuff and trying to kill her that way. That's a little bit more understandable than him like jumping on top of her, and stuff like that. Like that seems to be more
Yeah.
something I'd buy. Um I j-
Well, and if it worked and the dad was still around, it would look like she committed suicide. And
yeah.
that, which is what I think the dad was thinking that she would do, that she was doing.
Yeah, that
But
she was doing that and then Uh, yeah, she like the whole time he's thought she was crazy, you know.
yeah, she was just losing it. Well,
Yeah,
speaking, do you want to talk about the murders, the kills?
yeah.
Okay. So we start off with so so Sarah, the mom, stabbed in the stomach by scissors. I thought she just fell and like hit her head. I didn't see scissors.
Wait, yeah, I didn't see them either, but remember it said she slit herself or something, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's what it says here. The killer's Chucky. So stabbed in the stomach by scissors. So she screams, falls off the walkway upstairs, the
Yeah, it
second
says that
floor.
that night Nika finds Sarah stabbed to death. The death is ruled as a suicide. Um,
How? How are you gonna stab yourself a bunch of times and then fall off of the? That makes no sense to me. Chucky pushing her, or her freaking out and falling off
but
because she sees Chucky and her head hits, blood goes everywhere, which was cool. When the blood came out, you did see the image, of Nika, and I like that. But why would the police say it's suicide if it's like, let's say she got stabbed 5 times?
yeah, they would have probably gone after Nika and they would have thought she did it.
Which they do at the end of the movie.
Right.
The
Well,
cop
they,
thinks he stabs the sister in the eye because she's holding the knife.
yeah.
So, and then, so to me, that I'm a little iffy on that one. Then it says here, car accident. So that's
That's the father.
Father Frank, but it does say Chucky indirectly. And it says two unnamed men. So I guess those are the two cops, maybe, or the two people that were killed. But it does say indirectly, so maybe that is the rat poisoning that he
Oh,
that
indirectly, yeah. So he gave him the rat poison, but he didn't die from exactly from the rat poison. He died from a car accident caused by the probably by the rat
by the
poison.
rat poison.
And
Yeah.
then he lost his head. But
Yeah.
I don't think I swear to God I think Chucky was taken by the father and then later they find him or whatever because like the father's like where's Chucky or he moved Chucky or whatever somewhere and put him somewhere and then all of a sudden Chucky's back on the couch with him. I think there's a great scene of that, like where he wakes up, he sees Chucky like right next to him, and that's kind of like I would be kind of freaked out too if like I had moved him somewhere, all of a sudden somebody had moved him there, like right next to me while I was sleeping. That doll is, I mean, that doll right there is just creepy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean it's I guess if you're in a house with a bunch of different people, maybe somebody moved it from the chair. You
Mm,
saw it on the chair, now it's not on the chair, and you're going, okay, maybe Aunt Peg moved the doll or something, because there's 5 people in the house, 10 people in the house. But I think if it was like at my apartment and Chucky was sitting in the chair in front of me, and all of a sudden I went to the bathroom and came back and he's gone, I don't think one of my cats moved him. I'm the
mm.
only person here. So it's like, okay, doll, I know you're alive. There's something weird going on here. Or there's somebody secretly in the
Well,
house.
there was that one bit where Nico said, she was like, she couldn't find Chucky. And then the girl said, oh, he was in the bathroom. And she was like, he was? That's,
Being a
like,
peeping Tom,
yeah, well, I mean, that's even grosser. That's a
a
child.
peeping Chucky.
I mean, but he's like peeping on a child going to the bathroom. I don't think that was his plan. His plan, he was just there. And then he moved around for whatever reason and she found him. And she wanted to keep him because I don't know why anybody would want an ugly doll like that. Like, you know, like I don't know.
I don't know. Look how everybody talks about Annabelle. Annabelle's friggin' ugly. I still don't know why James Wan and all of them thought that was a good idea. Why
What?
not make the doll a little cute? Annabelle's
Well,
ugly. That is a
it,
horrible looking doll. I wouldn't even want a toy of that doll.
yeah,
And I guess maybe that's the idea, but it's like, I don't know. I wouldn't buy Annabelle and give it to my kid. I think it's just an ugly doll. I'd buy a more attractive doll.
right. But the original doll was a Raggedy Ann doll, which I think was always ugly. I never thought that Raggedy Ann was a good looking. It's called Raggedy Ann. That's a raggedy looking thing.
And did you ever
Um,
see Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy in the same place together?
mm,
Hmm?
maybe
Hmm?
that's Annabelle and Andrew. No,
Yeah, maybe.
I'm trying
I think
another A name.
they should make a male Annabelle doll, and then they could fight together. So, but
Hmm.
I guess yeah, I mean it's why is Chucky in the bathroom hiding behind something when he's been out in the open the whole time? Was the idea maybe one of the adults was going to go use the restroom, and then he pops out and kills them. But when he sees that it's the kid and
And he
he
wants,
can,
yeah, and he can steal her soul or whatever.
yeah, then he doesn't do anything. So it's like, oh, okay. Because it's, I'm thinking their budget really limited them to what they could do, which is fine. That to me is okay because I would rather have something small and
Actually,
condensed
doesn't
than
him going after the girl make no sense to his character? Like, as far as the hide the soul, because doesn't he hate girls? Thinks like, like he is very much a very chauvinistic character, and a lot of times he's like, women don't know what the fuck they're doing, blah blah blah. Even says in this movie, women, you can't live with them,
ah,
period.
ha, 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 ha.
That's his one liner, so there was at least one little Chucky
Oh,
quip in
I
there.
mean, he does a couple of them, but not really in the Chucky way. Like he talks to Nika about a standing joke when he's just like something standing. He's
Well,
just
that
like,
was like a more of a pun or whatever, like he was like
yeah. I
saying,
mean, he does little stuff, but it's not done in a regular Chucky way.
yeah.
It's but it's. I never thought that he hated women. I thought that he was just it's supposed to be a toxic male,
He kind
type
of
of
is a
thing.
very toxic male. I don't know. He's very awful.
But he kills equally,
Right. I mean, he doesn't discriminate. He's an equal opportunity killer.
and he seems to love, Tiffany, even though he treats her like crap from time to time, but then she treats him like crap from time to time.
I know it's a very toxic relationship.
It's a horrible
Yeah, it's
relationship.
the worst. Um, I I don't know. I just think because he always kind of says stuff about like girls can't do this or whatever throughout the whole show or through the whole series so far, he's been very like against women, kind of thing. I wouldn't have thought that he would want to, but then again, she's the youngest one there that, would give him more life, more time for him to what's it? What would I mean? I guess maybe this is answered a little bit in Cult of Chucky, but like, what is his game plan once he becomes, he gets his soul into somebody else's body or whatever? Like, is his game plan to just relive his life, and is he gonna go on killing people and potentially get killed again? I mean, you know what I mean? Like. I would think it would be a second chance to like maybe not go around killing people.
No, I think that he would continue killing people just as a kid.
It's stupid. It's
But
stupid.
that's why I think like he wanted the little black kid in part three because he goes, Chucky's gonna be a bro. So then as a little black kid, he would go around killing people. And then they'd sit there and be like, why is, oh my God, this little kid, everybody said he was nice and friendly and a great little kid, and now he's going around killing people. What happened?
And then he gets locked up.
Yeah, and we ran out of the time limit. Remember, they told him that you have to get out of the doll in X amount of time, otherwise you will become a doll.
hmm So like,
So,
yeah, now it doesn't matter, I guess, to
yeah,
him.
now he is a doll. So the whole thing of him going into a kid anymore, I don't really know if that because they were going into adults,
Yeah,
they're
but I
especially
think
in Seed.
yeah, he doesn't want to go back into an adult, I guess, because he wants to start his life over, I guess. Whatever. Yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
and adults always seem to find him ugly. They grab him by his arm, they throw him in a corner, they throw him in a trash can, and the kids really seem to like him, so he could get their trust
hmm
because they don't know how evil he is.
Even though he goes after Andy, which makes no sense whatsoever in the second one. This is another reason I don't like the second one. It doesn't make any sense. Why doesn't he just go after another kid? Like, if the third one makes more sense of like, hey, let me just go after this kid, you know, and everything. Why doesn't he just go after somebody else? Why does he have to go after Andy?
Well, I think because remember, it's the first kid that sees him, so when he opens up the box, it's the little black kid. So that now he could transfer his soul over into him. When it was going to be Andy, I think. If the little kid brought the box to Andy in part three and Andy opened it, it would then start all over again where he could jump into Andy. but since the kid did it, this time with him going into the little girl into
But does it
April,
have to be the first person that sees him?
they said that.
Why is that a why? Like, how did who said that? Like, not the voodoo guy. The voodoo guy didn't say that, did he?
No, because then that would actually be Catherine Hicks. Well,
Yeah,
actually, it would be the guy who sold her the doll,
right.
and back whoever got the doll before that to give it to him. But maybe if it's a kid
It's the
that he
first
could
kid that he sees him. I don't know.
maybe because in Bride it's meant to be the two teenagers, I guess they're supposed to be, Catherine Hagel and the other guy. That's the plan is to go into them, and then Seed
But
is
wouldn't it be what's her name? Tiffany? Wasn't she the first one who saw him? Because I
I
don't think even Bride they even tried to do hide the soul into because like the only thing they did hide the soul into was the doll for Tiffany. After that, he was just looking for that stupid amulet or whatever that he had that he was
which I
buried
think
with.
they yeah, I think they just throw that away.
And well, they
Uh,
threw that away in the next one, yeah.
yeah, so because it really does make no sense, but it's yeah, I don't know. It's hard to because I think
Okay, here it is. ChatGPT to the rescue, I hope. I hope. We'll see. The original rules for Child's Play 1 and 3. Um, Based on the Haitian voodoo that Charles Lee Ray learned from John Dr. Death Bishop. Oh, what did you skip me? Bishop, these were the established laws. The soul transfer spell is the Abadu Dambala. Give me the power, I beg of you. I didn't hear any thunder. Okay, good. Chucky can transfer a soul from one body to another using the chant. The ritual must be performed in front of the intended host. Eye contact and proximity matter. The amulet of Dambala isn't required until later films. It was retconned into the mythology in Bride of Chucky. Humanization rule. The longer Chucky stays inside the doll, the more human he becomes. Once he fully becomes human inside the doll, blood, pain, heartbeat, he can only transfer his soul into the first person he revealed his true identity to, right? So that was Andy originally, right? In Child's Play, that was Andy. In Child's Play 1, that was Andy. This explains why he becomes desperate to possess Andy before time runs out. The death rule, destroying the doll body, burning, shooting, dismemberment, kills the host body, but not necessarily Chucky's soul. His spirit can survive or reawaken if voodoo magic or new doll becomes involved. The retcons, Bride of Chucky introduces the heart of Damballa amulet supposedly needs to perform the transfer. Seed of Chucky adds the idea that Chucky's soul can split or share multiple bodies. Glenda or Seed. Curse of Chucky reintroduces Charlie Ray's human backstory, suggests he could perform rituals without the amulet. The flashback changes the timeline of his death, and the voodoo is less science, now more and more emotion psychic, symbolizing his link to his victims. So there you go.
so it's all over the place.
It, well, because that just said it was retconned, which I hate. Like I hate when people do this. This is the problem with Star Wars. They retcon the shit, and stuff and change
Well,
shit. Doesn't make any sense.
that's why I don't think some of these people they don't Halloween. Like they never expected Halloween to be a franchise. So what
No.
did John Carpenter do in part two? Oh, she's his sister and Sam Hain and all this stuff. And then they got fucked up from that moment
And well,
forward.
in third one, they don't even have Michael Myers, except in the trailer of Halloween,
Yeah,
which
it's been on the TV.
and on the
Yeah.
TV. And then the fourth one, Michael Myers is back, you know.
Yeah. And he's going after since
Jamie Lloyd, which is
Jamie.
Danielle Harris,
Yeah, I never liked that.
the
But
niece,
but it's I don't think any of this stuff, the Mark of Thorn, all that, I don't think that they planned on any of these things. I think that when you try to make a movie into a franchise. I think that they already kind of have stuff planned. Like, um, what's it, Victor Crawley? What are those movies?
Hatchet.
Hatchet. I could see them saying, okay, we want this to be a franchise. So
Yeah,
let's set up some rules and stuff.
right.
But I don't think back then, even Friday the 13th, is Jason dead? Is he alive? Was that a dream in part one? I don't think they had any idea of this stuff.
They
And
were
probably the
hoping,
same.
they were pro hoping probably, you know. Everybody hopes that the movie will do good enough that they'll be able to make another
But
one.
sequels weren't really a thing.
I think they were. They're starting to be a real big thing.
Not there was, I mean, at they really started in the 80s. So it's like Psycho never had one until the 80s, and then Carpenter did Halloween 2 in 82.
I mean, that is true. I don't think Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 didn't
That
come
was
out
10
till
that was 10 years later. That was like 88,
86.
86. Okay. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
a lot
yeah,
of these things, I think that Carpenter with Halloween, they just planned on one movie.
it's
I
actually
think
12 years later because 74 was Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay, yeah, on the poster they say after 10 years the buzz is back. So that's wrong. But I think that Carpenter just thought Michael gets shot, he's gone. That's it. We're done. We're done. He's just out there roaming around. He's done. And then with Child's Play, he got burned and shot and ripped apart, with Chucky, and I don't think they were saying that. So they had to invent a way for him to come back. And then they did,
Um,
which would make him a different doll, but the same soul, and then he dies in part two. Well, crap, now what do we do? Okay, now he'll be another doll. So
that's the
Chucky's never the same doll. He's always a different good guy. It's
that's
just the
the
same person inside him.
that's the good thing about Scream. You know, you have different killers, and stuff. So you don't have to make it where it makes sense that the person died, except if you're gonna bring them back from the dead like they are in the next Scream. I'm like, this is gonna be very confusing. I don't know what's gonna happen. But
Well,
I
and
trust
Kevin,
in Kevin Williamson.
I mean, and Kevin Williamson, as we know, he did that treatment or outline for part two. So he already had a plan for where this was going to go. Scream wasn't going to be, even from the beginning, just one movie. But
And
I think
he had
Child's
a
Play
treatment for
was.
three as well, and his treatment for three was what they were supposed to, I guess, do for Scream 3, but Ewan Kruger decided to step up and do it. He was asked, to take over, So Kruger and Craven. Um anyway, we were off on this. So the father dies in the car crash.
Yeah. And then after that is, well, okay, this is indirectly again. This is the okay, so now it says car crash. But then it says right below that the death of the father. So poisoned by rat poison, uh, decapitated by car roof, Chucky fireman indirectly. So they're calling it two different things.
Yeah, don't pay attention. It's the same thing.
The next after that will be Jill. That's she was electrocuted.
Wait. Was there another car crash? Was there two car crashes? Like maybe somebody died and then the father had killed them. Like they bammed.
They did. They hit.
Yeah,
You
so
could
that's
you
what it was. It was like he indirectly killed the other people that died or
yeah, because
whatever.
you could see a
And
cop putting like the blanket over the bodies as
yeah,
the camera's going
so
by.
he killed other people plus he killed the father, and the father was decapitation or whatever by the end of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then the electrocuted is the nanny, so
Mm.
Jill.
That wasn't
So
that indirectly. That was directly.
yeah, and that just goes to show, charge up your laptop, don't plug it in. Yeah, just
Uh-oh.
make sure it always has a 100% on it.
Uh-oh. Mine's. I
Well,
really hope Chucky's not coming after me.
just don't have any water by you, and you should be okay. Um, and then we have Barbara, stabbed in the eye,
Yep.
knocked down a staircase.
Yep. That pretty much
I,
does.
so were you surprised by the affair where we're supposed to believe it's between the husband and the nanny, but instead it's the wife and the nanny? Did that surprise you?
Um, Kinda, but honestly, I didn't care. Like, that sounds terrible, but I like none of these characters I cared about. Like, all of them, I was okay with them dying, you know? Like, the father was annoying. The mother was annoying. She was just yelling at her daughter the whole time and stuff, and then she was, I mean, there's the whole thing with between them. The problem is I didn't have enough time to invest in in any of these characters, and they just all came out nasty to Nika, and I cared about Nika from the very beginning, so she was the only one like I cared about, and so yeah, I just when they started kissing, it was like, oh, okay, that's happening, but I
See,
don't care.
I liked it, and I'm glad that it happened in the time period that it did,
Mm.
because I think it's a nice twist. Obviously, this happens in real life. There is that, and I think people get surprised. They always think it's the husband, and then you get the wife from time to time. But I think because Don Mancini is gay, he wanted to do the relationship, the affair between two women. And when I saw this, it actually did surprise me. Um, I kind of forgot about it until I watched it this time, but I like that it happened when it was, because if it happened today, it would just be, fuck, really? Really? Are we doing this woke bullshit? Really?
Well,
Really? Are we doing
well,
this?
I mean, if so, if Don Mancini got $20 million to make another Chucky movie or whatever, 5 million, whatever it's gonna end up being, um, and he's able to make another one tomorrow, right? Start getting it going on it. He's gonna throw some gay stuff in it, That's just who he is.
But it's well, I mean, Seed. I mean, look at that. I
Right.
mean, but
And
it's that's why I'm glad that these are made in the time period that they are,
but
because
they're
when
gonna be
this came
made
out,
still.
woke wasn't a thing.
But now it's gonna be like if he made it now, he's gonna have to, I mean, if I were him, I would put it in there, even if it pisses people off, because it's it is what it is, and I don't think lesbian stuff pisses people off as much. Um,
Well,
it
it does, because Disney had to remove like an animated lesbian kiss from Lightyear, and because
But that
no
was for
country.
kids. Like, I think the big difference, like the people that were freaking out about it were parents who were just, and it's to me it's stupid because there are, I mean, kids see this stuff on television all the time anyway. Like, I don't think kids are today should be surprised.
It's just looked at as indoctrination.
I
So it's and I do slightly agree with it. I don't think it. I think in a Chucky movie it's fine. In Lightyear, I don't think it's fine. I
right,
think that
I
they're
think in a child's thing that might not be appropriate because it would be like you don't want to show two men or not two men, but like a man and a woman kissing inappropriately or whatever in a TV. You don't want that, but it happens all the time. I don't know. It's just I think we live in a world. I don't know. It's being too crazy about this stuff. Just let it just, I mean, if you don't want your kids to see it because you heard that, then don't watch it, you know? I mean, that's my opinion.
well, I mean, it's you have other countries that refuse
Oh
to
yeah, yeah, yeah,
play,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know,
Like China.
that places. Yeah, so it's a I think it's something that you need to look at, and that's why I think the TV series with, and I mentioned this before, that the leads are all teenagers, but the two guy leads are both gay, and they do make out. They do get a little hot and heavy. and kind of like Euphoria, but they're meant to be teenagers. Now, I don't know
Mm.
how old they are in real life. Maybe they're 18, 20, but they just look younger. But I think it is Chucky. It is aimed at adults. I think kids probably, some kids like Chucky. I think their parents introduce them because they are, you see pictures of them, the little kid dressed up as Chucky,
My
at conventions.
my nephew, that's what my niece wanted to dress my kid up as Chucky for Halloween, you know.
See? There,
And is that? I mean, he's not gonna watch the movies, you know. We're not gonna show him that yet, you know. Some years later he may, but you know, when he's old enough, you know, that he can handle that stuff. But we're not gonna show it to him now. He loves it. Like he had saw a he would see like he would see this or this, and he'd be like Chucky, you know, right? Like he knows who Chucky is, because Chucky is a doll. He's an ugly looking doll, but he's a doll. And then this picture, he's ugly. That picture, he's creepy. But you know, he's a doll. You know, I don't know. It's just is that wrong that kids know who Chucky is? No, I remember knowing who Freddy Krueger was when I was a kid. You know, because I was 2 years old when Freddy
well, and they
I
dropped
married him.
his backstory fast.
I know, yeah. Well,
All of
that
a
was
sudden, he became the son of a thousand bastards or something,
yeah.
and all the child molestation stuff, and torture and murder and all that was dropped.
I think if they reboot it or do something with it soon, I know Wes Craven's estate is looking to do something with it. If that is the case, they definitely need to get away from the child molestation stuff or whatever, and just make him just a bad person, you know, bad person in your dreams, because it will be a part where kids are gonna go once again. They're gonna want to have dolls of Freddy and stuff, and they can't be like that, you know.
Well, that
My
was always the
opinion.
funny thing about Freddy is kids, having these toys of a child molester,
Right.
so of a pedo.
It
But
made more sense for Jason because he was a kid. He was a kid that died, you know,
yeah.
and stuff. So in the heart of everything, he's still a child. You know, which I liked in the beginning of the Friday 13th, the first couple ones where he's kind of running around bumping into shit and stuff because he's an idiot, because he's a fucking man child, and he's just, you know, right? I think
It's like
that was
Chunk
funny.
from no, Sloth from Goonies.
Sloth from Hey, you guys. You know,
I'm gonna kill
if
you,
Jason said that, hey, you guys, let me
guys.
go kill
He's
you.
there with the machete, hits his head.
Yeah.
Oh,
See that
guys.
I'm because he kind of looked like Sloth a little bit, you know. That's I feel bad for the guy who played Sloth, but he did not look like that, you know. That was makeup. Um,
What?
I think so. Um,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's obviously I don't have an issue with this type of thing because as Miranda pointed out to me, my friend Miranda, she goes, "You have a thing for lesbians, don't you?" And I'm like, "Do I?" And yeah, and a few things I've made, there are lesbians, but
I've
I've
done
never intended it to be. It's just let's just make these characters
well.
lesbians.
I mean, and I've done that for a couple of my projects that unfortunately have not been made. So, oh, I did know I had Kate, Phoenix, and Tina Kraus playing lesbians, you know, in a scene, you know, or whatever, in Echo Lake Massacre. That is, I mean, it's not because I'm woke and it was like, oh my God, I'm gonna put lesbians in my movie. It's because lesbians are hot, you know, like, you know, them together. I'm down with watching that. That sounds very sexist, but it's sort of like how males think. You know, two girls go at it, that's fine. Two guys go at it if they're straight, you know, guys aren't into that, you know, seeing
Well,
that.
that would be called being gay.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But like if you are straight, you're watching it, you're probably not going to be that interested in the two guys. But the two girls, you're like, "Oh, I like those two people." You know,
Well, yeah, especially if they're two hot chicks. So
yeah.
yeah, that's probably more of the porn stuff that guys watch is that. So,
Yeah. All right. Move
but
on. Yep. to the next
All
one.
right,
Next
back on
day.
track. Next one is the dad. So John jaw torn off by an axe.
Yeah, that was pretty weird. Like, did you like when you saw that, were you like, this looks strange a little bit, like how he did it? Like, it just, to me, I don't know, maybe it went too fast that I was just like, what just happened? Like, how did
I
he?
thought he just like tore it off or something. So yeah, so maybe it did look weird, but I just didn't notice it that it was done quickly, and I thought maybe he just tore it off.
Yeah, but it was an axe or something. I don't know. I didn't know what the fuck just happened. Just all of a sudden his, thing just got, I don't know. It was weird to me. I don't know.
And then after that is Tiffany kills
Mhm.
slits the throat with a nail file of the police officer
Hmm.
that has all the evidence. And after that is Alice's grandmother suffocated by a plastic bag.
But she comes back, so did she really die or?
No, yeah, she lunges into the camera, kind of like that. But here's the last one. This is kind of weird. Alice possessed. Chucky unknown.
Huh?
That's what it says.
Okay.
There's
Okay. This is one of the biggest things I hated about the movie. They had two endings, because of the post credit scene, and they contradicted each other, which annoyed me. So at the ending of the movie, Fiona Dorff, Nika gets arrested and she goes to trial. She gets convicted for whatever to get sentenced to the mental hospital that we're gonna see in Cult of Chucky,
yeah,
right? So all that happens, and she's like yelling at him, like saying, "Oh my God, I beat you! You can't get me!" No, 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 right, and stuff like that, making her look just as crazy because she's talking to a doll that's not talking back, So all of a sudden she still looks crazy, which I'm glad she kept that up, right? Look crazy, crazy girl. You're getting away from this guy for now, right?
right.
And then it cuts to Alice coming home because I was wondering like where did Alice go? Like they never found her, or they never said they found her, right? You know? So Alice comes home and there's a box opened up, right? So somebody had got a box delivered. And she comes in and she sees Chucky. She's like, Chucky, you found me. And he's like, oh yeah. And she's like, hey, what happened to my grandma? Right? And he's like, oh, she's in the basement right now or whatever, right? But she wasn't, I don't think. Like, wasn't she on the floor somewhere else? Like, wasn't she?
It looked more like on the floor, but he does say
She was in the
basement.
basement. So it was a little weird. So he says, we're gonna play a game called Hide the Soul, right? And so he's doing the thing, and all of a sudden, for a jump scare, it's the Carrie moment where you weren't expecting, and all of a sudden, it comes at you at the end, right? To kind of
Well,
freak you
grandma.
out. Grandma jumps out at you. And so I thought for a second, did he get his soul transferred to grandma or did he get his soul transferred to her? Right? Like, that's what it looked like to me. Like, because it would have been funny if he got his soul transferred to the grandma and they goes, oh, fuck. Whoops.
Some
You
old
know?
woman, like 80-year-old woman.
Yes.
Well, yeah, because it does look like she's in the apartment just on the floor. I said apartment because I thought this was an apartment.
I thought it was a
Because
house.
because when she opens the door, it looks like an apartment.
That was a house. Because she did say basement, and I imagine that there's no basements in a apartment complex like
No, but much like him saying basement, and it looks like she woke up on a floor,
that.
not a
Right.
basement floor. Maybe I don't know. It just that was confusing. So maybe something we didn't see was Grandma's still alive. She pulls the bag off. She knocks Chucky out of the way, grabs Alice, and runs.
But supposedly Alice is possessed
According
at
to
the end.
this, it's that what I'm reading from, it says possessed.
So then we see the credits and everything, Then we get a post-credit sequence, which is not on Peacock. I had to watch it on YouTube, because whatever reason
Well,
Peacock.
no, there was one more. There was Tiffany taking Chucky box to the post office.
So there's two. Okay, I
Oh,
only
there's three endings.
right. So he took a so okay. So Tiffany took which one came first, Tiffany or
I think
Alex?
because really there's four. If you see the courtroom and her being dragged off to the asylum, you could have just ended it right there.
Right,
And
that's where you
then
should have stopped it.
yeah, and then it goes to
It's
the
like Lord of the
grandma.
Rings. You get the fucking 12 endings in Lord of the Rings at the end, and you're like, "Fuck, dude, stop,
Yeah,
stop!"
this is
Like end it right where you should have ended it.
I
Otherwise,
remember that. Like you're about to get up. Oh shit, there's one more. Oh shit, there's one more.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's grandma first, then it cuts to the post office where Tiffany has the box, and which is she kills the cop. She
Hmm.
has the box. The woman is asking her, how much does it weigh? All that, do you
Yeah,
want
that shit was so
insurance?
boring. Like, dude, I don't need that shit. Do you know why they filmed that shit? Is because oh, that's right, or that's right, that's that scene. Okay, I did see that scene. So she's mailing it out, and that goes to Alice.
I
Right?
would think,
So that goes to Alice, and
but I
then
think grandma is first though, right?
no, 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 Alice at least in the one I saw, it was right after. It was right after. So. Yeah, Nika goes to whatever. They take the doll away. They put it in they take it and put it in the evidence thing. The guy goes into his car, calls up the guy or whatever that's supposed to get it, and says, "I've got it. You better have
Yeah,
my
yeah.
money." Then she kills him. She goes to the post office, says, "I've got a package for you," and that I totally forgot about that scene because it was my least favorite scene in the whole movie. As much as I love Jennifer Tilly and I think she's great, it just went on. And she's just after a while, I'm like, we really need to like I hate going to the post office generally. I don't need to see a scene where I'm sitting behind somebody and they're talking about everything. I don't want to, right? Like, me because I had to send out a package for you and for somebody else, and I sent out the package, and as I was waiting in line, I was like, oh my God, would this person hurry up, stop talking so I
That's
can
why
go
you
up there?
don't go to the post office. You find a supermarket that has a post office in it. There's barely anybody in line if there's anybody in line at all. I
Mm,
never go to the post office. I
yeah,
always go to one of these. If Smith's is our thing out here, I'll find a Smith or an Albertsons or whatever it is that has a post office inside it. And
yeah.
it's always tiny. There may be one person ahead of me, but that's it. But yeah, yeah, so yeah, I did get them wrong because on this it says, yeah, Stanton leaves to deliver Chucky to an unknown buyer. He gets murdered. Tiffany mails Chucky to Alice after smothering Alice's grandmother. Chucky does the voodoo thing and the chant.
So I guess it's the other grandmother, right? Because the grandmother on the father's side. So now she's completely grandmotherless from fucking Chucky because he's murdered the one grandmother in the beginning of the movie and then murdered the other grandmother, from her, I guess her father's side or whatever.
Well, and one thing there is the news that says Alice is orphaned. Is she orphaned if she goes to live with her grandmother? Wouldn't being orphaned mean that there's like nobody she can go to? So she has to go to an orphanage?
You would think, but I guess that was a mess up. So anyway, yes, so that part I totally forgot about the mailing because I fucking hated that scene.
You hate it, yes.
Yeah, it's okay. Um, Nothing to do with Jennifer Tilly. Love her to death, but I
That's
would
fine.
just
That's fine.
I want to point that out because I don't want
You've
Jennifer
made
Tilly to hear this and then go,
you've
well,
made this
damn
very
it.
clear.
Well,
Well, they
damn.
had to have her in it. She has to be in
Well,
all
right.
of them from Bride on.
I know, and she has to, yeah, because she becomes kind of the face. Like her and Chucky are the face of of everything. So I get it. Um, even though it doesn't make any sense. Wait, now that I'm thinking about it, it doesn't make any sense. Is that Jennifer Tilly or is that Tiffany?
It's Tiffany. It says
But
in the credits Jennifer Tilly as Tiffany
how
Valentine.
did Tiffany become Tiffany again? Didn't she become the doll? And didn't her body die?
No, Tiffany went into Jennifer Tilly's body at
That's
the
right.
end of
Okay.
Seed. They're at the party
But
where
so
she's holding.
She's Tiffany, but in Jennifer Tilly's body. Okay. Very
You think
con
it's confusing now? Wait till you watch the series.
Okay. All right. So anyway, and then so yeah, so she sends it to Alice, all that stuff. Then we get the final post credit scene, and it's mailed again. The same doll, by the way. It is. It's got
If
the
it has
stuff.
the stitches, then it has to be the same doll.
Yeah,
It has to be.
it's got the stitches on it at the end and stuff. I noticed that because I was like waiting. I thought, I mean, if it was a regular looking doll, they could have got away with this. But and plus, maybe, but even then, this was just a way to throw in Andy since they mentioned him into the movie. But here's my thing, and I think I mentioned this to you earlier. What they should have done is had Andy be this guy who, when they had the two policemen who just so happened to stumble onto that house, which had like I don't know how any of this, like how they end up going to that house or whatever. Like the two policemen at the end or whatever, the policeman at
Well,
the
it's
end.
just the one cop who
Okay, it
goes
was
to the
one cop.
house. The other cop said, or one of them figures out that the cop was at that house before the accident.
You mean
So
the father was at the
the
house?
father, yeah, figures out that the father was at the.
How did he figure that out?
They're talking.
What?
The two cops are talking.
I no. How did he figure out that the father was at the house? How did that even become a? Did he look through phone records or something, or and you know what I mean? Like, there's no
Well, he
explanation.
shows up at the house during the day, doesn't he?
Yeah,
He does say one of them says, or somebody says, the father was at the house
right.
before the
But
and then the
how?
and then the one cop goes, "Okay, I'm gonna go check it out." Like to
I
try to get
I
some
mean,
answers.
I
Because the
guess
one cop thinks he was drunk. The other cop says, "No, he's sober. He's my sponsor." So it could have been him being drunk.
so. I don't know. There's too much stuff that they left out that doesn't explain anything. So the cop goes to the house, right, and everything. So it just doesn't make any. It would have been cool if one of the cops was Andy. That would have been neat, because it's the same town and everything, right? Like I believe it's the same town and everything. So like it would have been cool if it were Andy as a cop now and he was there, and now he has tracked down Chucky just by accident, or he's been hunting Chucky, and he's like, "Oh my God, this looks like the work of Chucky," right? Something like that. But instead, they have to throw in this stupid throwaway gag at the end where Chucky is delivered to his house, and he knows he must have known it was Chucky, you know, because he puts the big box down, goes talks to his mom. So it's a little nice, thing of saying like his mom and him are still communicating with each other or whatever. And then Chucky opens up the thing, gets out, and he's gonna try to kill Andy, but Andy has a shotgun, and then he shoots Chucky in the face, right, and everything like that. So then did he not possess the girl? Like, did
I
any of
would
that
say
even make any sense?
I would say no, he didn't.
Well, then why? Why didn't he do it? Why couldn't he?
I don't know if the grandma wakes up, she tears the bag off of her head and
Why didn't
moves
they
the.
show that?
I don't know that's the only reason why I can think that they showed the grandma waking up because just leave grandma dead.
Right. No, the
It's
reason they
one
show
less.
grandma waking up is so it can be one more gag to do that right before the credits. It's one more, coming at you thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was done as a jump scare.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was a jump scare. That's it.
yeah,
It's the same thing as Cedar Chucky with the hand coming out.
yeah.
Makes no sense. They keep doing this at the end of every fucking movie now. It's like they make no sense.
Now I want to go watch Colt. I want to go watch it when we're done with this just to see if they answer anything, as I saw that so long ago.
You know what? I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait a week. After this, I mean, honestly, I didn't dig it that much, man. I thought I was going to, man. I was so excited. I was like, all right, it's a remake of, kind of remake from the original. They're rebooting it. They're making it scary, and at times it was, but it makes no sense a lot of the time. I want to interview Don Mancini sometime. I really do. And I want to ask him all the hard-hitting questions about Chucky and just be like,
Well, it's funny because Nina's relatives are supposed to be assholes. I kind of agree with them. It's you're in this. My grandmother, after my grandfather died, there was a two-story house. It was gigantic. It was huge, way up in like the Marin County hills. My uncle said, "Mom, you can't handle this place by yourself."
hmm,
And so she ended up getting a house in the same community that he was in. It was like a seniors community. It was all
right.
fenced off and stuff. Starting at, I guess you could be there 55 and up. She understood that. So it's like for the sister, and granted it was about money, that's like the friggin' Munsters house.
Yeah.
They could get a ton of money for that.
And
And
why can't she just live in a and why can't Nika just live in a one-story house or apartment,
a
because
house
it's
that is made for somebody in a wheelchair.
right, you
So,
know,
and like the sister says, the money you could get for this place, you're set for life.
right,
So if she bought a house and then down the road sold it, like if she had to go to a place where you live in, like the
right.
old, oh, the I don't know what you would call it for somebody in a wheelchair, but it's one of those places where you get assisted living. Then she would, like she said, you'd be set up for life.
Hmm?
I don't think that's wrong. I think the sister is obviously doing it for selfish reasons,
Right. She
you
obviously wants
know.
the money, but
Yeah, because they're
she
they're broke, but it's like, what do you mean? What this is our home. This is where mama. No, no, she got stuck when the power went out in the little elevator.
right,
That had nothing to do with Chucky.
right.
So if you guys have storms like that and you're
Yeah,
by yourself, unless maybe she hires a nurse or somebody to be there,
which she could, but she can't if she doesn't have money, because
which she and Chucky nailed it, which I thought was funny. He's like, "You're a loser. You've done nothing for 25 years. You quit school. You've done all this stuff." He nailed it with her.
right, because I mean, he was pretty much, yeah, calling her a loser because, for 25 years, what have you done? Right? And stuff like that.
Chucky is much more successful than she is. Look how many people he's killed.
I mean, I guess if that's success, I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
Look how
but
many places he's been too. I mean, he's
uh,
probably
he's
been a lot more places than her.
he's moved around a lot more.
Yeah.
But he also is the one who caused her, stuff and everything, which I thought was pretty messed up, actually.
Yeah. Well,
You
and
know,
and the mom is kind of messed up because the guy is hitting on her, who's dropping off the box, and the mom's like, "No, he was just being nice," and the mom,
I mean,
Nika's like,
see, he thought she was cute. He could have moved in, and she would have been able to whatever. But I'm kind of glad
"Yeah,
that guy saved himself by like leaving, because like he could have been another victim if he had fallen in love with her. Um,
that's
I
true."
bet I bet he would see the like Nika arrested for blah blah blah, and he's looking at the thing going, the newspaper, the thing going, Yeah, I dodged a bullet on that one.
Yeah.
She's
Oh my God, that's a chick I hit on.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's pretty crazy.
Well,
You
and the
know.
stuff with the court, it's like she is in a wheelchair, and if you think that she's faking it, you throw a book on the ground so the person like gets up or something. That's how they always do it in the movies. You do something like that because if she is in a wheelchair, how is she ripping a jaw off? How is she, doing all of? I mean, I guess she could rip a jaw off. I guess she could use an axe to do that. I guess that she could electrocute somebody. So
Yeah. I mean, all the stuff
maybe,
she could have done.
yeah.
I don't know if she could have pushed somebody down a flight of stairs, but they could have. I mean, because I think the girl didn't get pushed down; she just fell down, right, or whatever down the stairs. So it could have been that
Yeah, yeah. However, she
you
got
know,
stabbed and then fell.
and then she could have gone down the elevator and
Yeah.
and everything. So she could have done all these things. So that makes sense. That's okay. I didn't mind. Like, you didn't mind any of the deaths. Those there weren't a lot of them, which I mean that's fine.
I'm
Um,
okay with that because we
yeah.
build a little bit. This is kind of like old dark house, type of thing. It's more of like a murder mystery in a way, instead of
Well,
just being a slasher film.
and you get to know, like, at least Nika, you really get to know her and her backstory and things with her. Like I said, with Barb and all of them, there were things that they tried to throw at us, like the fact that they were poor, I guess, or whatever, and like that he had to work at Starbucks or something,
Yeah, that's
you
what
know,
she said.
and so I'm like, okay, so he had to work at Starbucks, and yet she still wants like the private school for the daughter and stuff like that. And
Well, Nika points out you have a nanny.
yeah, and well, and she said this not going to work out. It's not going to work out because you're fucking her, and everything like that. So you don't want to pay $400 every,
Well, because she's
all the
thinking she's going to get the money.
yeah, probably.
And then the babysitter or the nanny goes, well, we don't really need the money. I was thinking that they were going to do a double cross and that the nanny was actually sleeping with the dad because I'm sorry, mom is not, or sister is not attractive. And nanny is attractive. And unless you're just making out with her to get the money, and then when she goes, well, we don't need the money, I'm like, no way.
Well,
I'm like,
maybe
she's
she
got
seemed
to be
like a
faking this for dough.
I don't know.
Well, no, then I don't think she was because she stayed with her. I don't think it was fake, but I was thinking like, I don't know. I don't find the sister to be attractive
Now
at all. She was hard to look at.
the one I did find really attractive was the nanny, and unfortunately the girl who played her, I sent you a message about that, but
Oh yeah.
Chantel Quesnel, who's a Canadian actress. This is actually filmed in Canada, which I found out because I didn't know that, like, going in, or whatever. It was filmed in, I think, Toronto, but like if you look at the end of it, it says ACTRA, which ACTRA is the Canadian version of SAG. So, that's interesting. So they had Canadian. Is Fiona Canadian? Like, did Fiona live in Canada, or does
I
she?
guess it matters where Brad is from.
Yeah, is Brad from Canada? I don't know. But this girl is from Canada, and unfortunately she passed away in 2023. So that's a bummer. She was good. Like, I liked her a lot in that. I thought she had a lot of personality. That's the character I was like, oh man, she's gonna be one of the first to die because she really doesn't have anything to do with the family. And like, once you have the family, the family people they're gonna die in succession. And I actually thought the father was gonna die before the mother, right? And then they killed the mother off because, well, she's a bitch, and it was, like, a lot of times the bitches die pretty quickly, on there. But then the father died, like, basically last in the family, which was interesting. Other than the grandmother, but that comes later. Fiona, let's see, is she? Doesn't say she's from Canada. Um, Let me find out.
No, it says under Brad Dourif, it says Huntington, West Virginia.
Well, that was where he was born. Where does
Born,
he
yeah.
live? Fiona Dorff. Let's find out real quick. So, oh, she's an American actress. Nope. But
It's
okay,
a
so they brought in a few Americans into the movie, but then all the other actors are Canadian. So I guess there's some kind of thing with that. Because like, I think the woman who played Barbara, I think she's Canadian too. The sister. Um.
well, and they probably saved money with having, you know,
Oh,
Brad Dourif's
I'm
daughter
wrong.
in there.
I'm wrong. The girl who played Barb, is a Los Angeles actress. So, but I'm sure some of them are, you know,
Well, and here on out, a lot of even like the crew are the same. They just moved from movie to show because they knew what to do. So like a lot of the people who controlled Chucky, if you watch the behind the scenes stuff, they talk about how now it's like a big family. So they because
right.
everybody knows what to do, so they could get this stuff shot really fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to find the random guy that the was that guy Ian? Who is Ian? That wasn't the father, was it?
There's
I
not
guess
too
that is
many.
that is
There's
the
not too many
father.
men in this, so
Yeah. But there's the USX guy, which I guess is the
yeah, that's like
um
the UPS guy. That's
UPS guy. That guy's from Canada. So, and then Ian is played by A. Martinez. I know that name. Where do I know that name? There's not many people who just use the word A, like initial in their name. So A. Martinez. Do I know him from something else? Like another horror film or something? No, I guess not. He's a
it
TV
looks like
show
he's done
guy.
a lot of
Television.
TV,
Yeah.
which is
Oh,
also probably cheaper.
yeah. Well, I mean, so and a lot of it is Canadian. There's a lot of Canadian television out there. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, I thought the movie was okay. I'm gonna give my rating now, and then you're gonna tell us all the fun stuff about the money. I think you might have said it already, but
That's it. It just says a budget.
it just has a budget. It doesn't say how
Yeah,
much.
because I'm guessing because it went straight to video. Because
Oh,
you can, this is the last one in this box set is Curse. So when Curse came out, you could buy it separately, or you could buy it in this box set. So that's how I bought it because I only had the Child's Play movies on DVD. So I bought this because Chucky was, or Curse of Chucky was brand new.
okay. ChatGPT says estimated production budget $5 million. Shot in Winnipeg, Canada. Box office, home media release, theatrical, that had very limited theatrical run overseas and in select U.S. cities for promotion, earning roughly $3.4 million worldwide. The real profit came from the Blu-ray, DVD, and digital sales, which were massive. Well, massive for direct to horror, 13 to $15 million combined.
Well,
So
and this might have been the first time they were on Blu-ray. Because I think before it was the DVDs with it was like 1 through 3, and then they brought it out again where it would have, the other two, Bride and Seed. But I think those were all VHS, DVD.
might have
So
been
like this,
VHS too.
yeah, this might have been the first Blu-ray. So, but I
Cool.
also have this. I forgot to show this.
Nice.
It's a Chucky keychain.
Very
Is-
cool. Looks like a Funko Pop.
Yeah, and it says Chucky.
Nice.
I
Where'd you
got
get
this
it?
at 7-Eleven.
Nice.
They have, I think it's maybe they don't anymore, but they'd have right up by the register, they would have different types of keychains. Some would be like a butterfly or something or a frog. But then they also did horror movies, surprisingly. Like they did have a Jason one. And they had, I think maybe even a Michael one, but the Chucky is my favorite. So, and it's actually really detailed for a keychain. I mean, it's got like a bunch of layers to it. So,
Um, I'm wearing the Chucky hat, which we were trying to figure out earlier, and I apparently had it inside out. It's actually got Chucky on it. Can you see that?
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's got Chucky on it. And I got my free hugs, Chucky. I don't know if I wore this before or not, but I have a great story for it,
So
by the way.
you did wear it, and you might have told the story. So let's see.
The Lolo story?
Might be because you've worn that shirt before, and you did tell a story with it.
Okay, well, this is my lucky shirt now because when was it? Um God, was it wasn't last month. Maybe it was August. I went to the Simple Plan concert and I got to meet Lolo, one of my new favorite crushes on in the in the punk rock scene and stuff. And she came out and whatnot, and I walked up and was waiting with my friend Nicole, and I came up to see her, and she saw my free hugs shirt, and she said, "I'll take one." And I was like, I don't know if she would have asked me for a hug before or whatever, or took one before, but she did that because she is a horror fan. So it's
I
great
would say
to.
you got the hug because of the shirt, so it's a good thing you wore the shirt.
Yes. All right. So
Otherwise,
it's
you
my
would have
lucky
just been
shirt.
a yeah, just been a guy going, "Hug me, hug
I mean, that
me,"
would have been weird. I don't know. I
just
wouldn't have
like
done it
that.
unless she asked me because
Now,
I
who is this
it's
Lola? I don't know who
Lolo. Lolo.
Lola.
She's actually L0L0. Like that's how her name is, but she's Lolo because there's already another Lolo that's sort of famous or whatever. But she's a singer. She's done songs like Bad was it something my brain is going crazy right now. Well, her newest song is called American Zombie. So she does, yeah, she was the Devil Wears Converse. It's very it feels almost very 90s kind of stuff, songs and song titles and whatnot. She's a big fan of that stuff, so it was great. I love her music and love to getting a hug by her. Was gonna see her again because she's coming to Chesapeake in November, but just with all the stuff I'm doing right now, I'm just gonna have to wait to see her maybe next year or the year after again. It's okay. I'll I think I'll survive, you know. Um but it's nice. I'm sure she appreciates her fans coming out to see her anytime. But yeah, I had a blast. She was very sweet, and this might be one of the only times I can see her without having to pay extra money. So I was very happy, right? Like I looked at the tickets, $25 just to see her in concert, which is pretty cheap, but then 125 or $112 if you want to meet and greet, at backstage or whatever. So I was like, yeah, I got to see her for free or whatever not free because I had to pay the money to get in. But aside from that, it was well worth it, you know.
There you
And
go.
get a hug. Don't think
There,
I,
that
may never get that again from her, So
made it seem like it was free.
yeah, it was free. Free to me,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, so you still didn't give your rating.
Yeah, 3.5 stars.
Okay.
Not about that because I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's got a lot of flaws to it. And once again, I think that has to do with like retconning and doing all this other stuff with it that I'm just like I'm so confused by, like the flashback scenes and stuff, you know. What about you?
I give it a 4. I really enjoyed it. I didn't mind all the added endings because I just like seeing those people. So it didn't bother me that it did make a lot of sense. I do think some of it is explained in Colt and the TV show, at least like the first season. But I do think they answer some stuff to it.
I mean, I don't know. I really didn't like the I would have preferred Alex Vincent to be Andy to be a part of the movie instead of be like this little bonus thing, like, Um, but
I still want them to have Andy from part 3. I really think that they should have in the show at least had both Andys together. Almost
well,
doing like a Spider-Man type meme, with the fingers, Yeah, just like, one of the actors in the show would go, "Andy," and there's the regular Andy that we know, and then his back is turned, and she's like, "Andy," and then both of them turn. Yes. It's like, ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like that's, I mean, because in that Spider-Man No Way Home, I was in the audience and, I don't know how the other audience felt about it, but when they saw, I think it was Andrew Garfield first, and he shows up and everybody actually started applauding and everything. And I was like, whoa, was not expecting that. Like, I was going to applaud, but like, I thought I was going to be the only one.
Well, a lot of people think that he got screwed. We only got the two movies. His girlfriend breaks her back, and which is why he saves, the girl and Mary Jane in that one is kind of
MJ,
his
yeah, MJ.
MJ. Yeah, I found out legally they can't call her Mary Jane. They have to call her MJ because they don't have the rights to that name.
Well,
Um,
Sony did, and I mean,
That's
Sony
what
is
that's what I
producing
read.
it.
I asked why is she called MJ? And then I read that it's because they couldn't use the name Mary Jane.
I never thought that. I thought it was, and this is my theory, but it might you might be right. I don't know because they've used every other name, for the stuff. So they used Peter Parker. They used I don't know why they wouldn't have the rights to it, but my thing would be that she's not Mary Jane. She is not. She's MJ. She probably has a different name. She's not Mary Jane. Whatever.
Well,
Uh,
I think in the Sam Raimi ones that
Isn't
they
she the Birdman's
he
daughter in that? Like it's not Mary Jane Watson. So it's,
I think she's MJ. They go back and forth.
I think she's MJ, but she's not Mary Jane. I think she's something else. Um okay, now this is gonna bother me until I figure this out real quick. So Mary MJ Spider-Man Spider-Man Homecoming. Okay. Michelle MJ Jones. That's her name. I think I remember them actually saying something like that. But yeah, she is not Mary Jane Watson. There will be people are speculating that Sadie Sink might be playing Mary Jane Watson because Mary Jane Watson has red hair, you know, and stuff. So, yeah, it's just I don't ask me why they decided to call her MJ. It was stupid, you know. But or maybe that's a character that's in the comic books and I don't know from Spider-Man. Maybe there's a Michelle Jones and they make a joke. Oh, there's two MJs, you know?
Yeah, there's a Jessica Jones, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, because remember, I say Birdman, but what's his name? Michael Keaton. That's her father. That's her father in the Spider-Man Homecoming. But he plays like the bird guy or whatever. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah, that's Vulture.
Vulture. Yeah. So, and then he ended up playing a movie called Birdman, where he played a Birdman. Not my favorite, but
Nope, I thought it was boring.
I did too. Um, but yeah, so they just call her Michelle in the first movie, right? And but which is weird because her father, played by Michael Keaton, was named Adrian Toombs. Why wouldn't her name be that?
Divorce or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
But maybe that's why I looked it up. Like, why is she just called MJ? And I think when I looked it up, they said it had to do with copyright. So that's why she's just called MJ.
I don't know. That might have been the reason, or it might have
Maybe
been.
it's been the reason the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, because I think they're planning to introduce her in the new one, MJ or the Jane Watson, because this is going to sort of whatever start over. We are way off topic. This has nothing to do with Chucky, so sorry everybody. I'm done talking about this because like maybe we can talk about it afterwards. I don't know, but
Well, I got to pee really bad, so
anyway, thank you guys so much for checking this out. We'll be back next, no, 2 weeks for was it Cult of Chucky.
Cult of Chucky.
Cult of Chucky, which I think will be next month, right? Yeah, I think this will be the end of the this is the end of the month, for October. So there you
Well,
go.
that explains why we're so cranky.
Because it's because we're jumping into
Because
time,
we're
space.
we're because it's the end of the month.
Or it's because you need to pee. I don't know. Um,
Kind of why I'm rocking.
yeah. All right, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll be back. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.